Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Dad, real quick. Sorry about this, but real quick, I have to show him something. Dad, you see that button right there?
Mm-hmm.
Again, to resume it.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hey.
It's your president and your VP back once again with another episode of March of the Leprechauns. This time...
This video is protected by fair use.
Yeah, it's protected by fair use. This time, it's going to be Leprechaun 2, which came out April 18th, 1994. It was produced for a budget of $2 million, and it made $2.3 million. It has a Rotten Tomato score of just 6%. Now, that's wrong, guys. I'm going to tell you. Now, this movie is so bad, it's so awful, but it's so hilarious. Words cannot describe what we're about to show you, first of all. So we're just going to show you a clip, basically from the beginning. Okay? Let me set it up for you guys so you know where we're at. The leprechaun has captured a slave by the name of O'Day. His last name's O'Day, and he... attempted to steal the leprechaun's gold. But the leprechaun is going to release him because he's 1,000 years old. It's it's St. Patrick's Day and it's his birthday, so he's 1,000 years old and he's going to get married. He's selected a bride. Problem is that he selected O'Day's daughter. Now he casts a spell on the girl and says that if she sneezes 3 times and nobody says God bless you, then she'll be entranced and become his bride. So she sneezes once, she sneezes twice, and she sneezes the 3rd time. But then O'Day says God bless you, and he attempts to run. So without further ado.
Alright, I'm hoping that goes here. Probably not. So I'll have to film it like this, guys. I hope you can see it.
You pathetic fool! You thought you could outsmart me! The genius of colliding! A curse be placed upon your seed when you grow dead. You may have saved your daughter, but on the next 1000th birthday, I'll stalk your fairest offspring and claim her as me bride. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Wait for it.
Here it comes.
Oh my goodness.
That is just a small snippet of the ridiculousness that is that movie.
Mom was looking at us like, you guys are dorks.
So,
you know
it shows a map, right? The leprechaun has tracked her down to Los Angeles, California.
Also, there's the Titanic in this map.
Yeah, it seems like the leprechaun might have caused the Titanic to sink.
Titanic?
Whatever. Me no words good, so Tom. And you guys know these are live reviews anyway, so. And they're
Titanic.
They're unscripted.
Titanic, Dad, really?
We can get off of that. We got a review to do.
Okay.
He gets so stuck on these things sometimes, guys.
It's pronounced. It's pronounced.
I know
Titanic.
it's pronounced Titanic. I had a flub up, so sue me. You're
Okay,
still
I
harping
will.
on it.
Okay, I will.
All right. I'm not really angry. We're just goofing here.
Yeah.
So he tracks her. He tracks the descendant of the O'Day down. Right. But
Bridget.
we meet Bridget, who's played. Now I'm sure she might be a decent person. Okay, the actress behind her. But in this case, she's god awful, and I really hate that character. And I really wish she would have died, but not nearly as much as Cody, who is so bland and generic. He screams 90s. He has a 90s haircut. So
And then there's his Uncle Morty.
yeah, I'll get to that. after what we just showed you guys, the movie segues into the introduction of Bridget and Cody, and Cody is trying to basically scam some people into a tour of the supernatural around LA. So, yeah, this is a good idea. I'm kind of thirsty.
Alright, I'll take over. So basically afterwards, he scams them into this thing called the dark side, which is very weird. Anyways, there you go.
Then Clint Howard shows up for no apparent reason, out of nowhere.
You'll remember him from our Ice Cream Man review.
And you'll remember him from shows like the Andy Griffith Show. He was the little kid. He's Ron Howard's brother. The less famous Howard, I guess, is the best way to describe him. So, anyways, they go past Harry Houdini's mansion, right? The remains of it. Turns out there was a tree there, okay, that was gifted to him by the people of Killarney. Now, you might have heard that he said that you tried to outsmart me, the genius of Killarney. So the people of Killarney sent this tree to Harry Houdini, and the freaking leprechaun lives inside the tree.
Yep.
Okay? And then there's a homeless guy that comes up out of nowhere in the Dark Side Tour and kind of scares everybody. And Bridget's being a little, how shall I put this?
Karen?
Basically, I guess. Or maybe, yeah, I guess you could say that. She is pretty annoying and ungrateful. Cody's really, in a way, just trying to help his uncle out, who turns out is a raging, freaking alcoholic in the film. And that kind of actually plays into a scene a little bit later that is so freaking ridiculous, guys.
Which we'll not
But
show.
it's good. I mean, this movie is an entertaining thrill ride. It is. It is so god-awful, though. I mean, it's one of these films that is so bad that it's good. Well, actually, all Leprechaun movies, with the exception of 4,
and
we're going to get to that one, and Origins, are like that. And I apologize that it's a little dark, but we use natural lighting, guys, so it's getting dark outside.
Daylight saving times, you would think it would be much lighter.
Well, we got overcast outside, too, so we don't have the best lighting right now, guys. We use natural lighting as we
said. In fact, if we stay quiet for a little bit, you can actually hear the rain.
Yeah, it's raining outside. So eventually they go to a cart. Well, they go to go-karts and they stop there, and she meets up with this basically shallow guy named Ian, and
you know what? It would be funny if that guy's name was actually Eon instead of Ian.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that Bridget basically ditches Cody and gets a ride home from Ian, and he has to, because he gets pulled over afterwards by the cops. And his Uncle Morty, who's one of the most unsavory characters in all of film cinema. This dude is a complete and total sleazebag. And
he tried stealing the cop's pen.
Yeah, who would do that? Okay, he has to get Cody out of jail, basically, and he tries to steal the cop's pen, and he also tries to scam him into buying a 5% share into the franchise, this, quite frankly, crappy freaking thing that they're doing, and their apartment is a complete and total mess. It's unclean. It looks like they're complete and total slobs. So you think they would get what's coming to them, right? Well, halfway. Not quite. So I'll get to that. So the movie then segues into this bit a little bit later where where Ian is trying to basically get into, well, I'll just put it bluntly, trying to get into the pants of Bridget, and Bridget turns him down. But the leprechaun has showed up, and he basically cons Ian into thinking that Bridget is naked, and so Cody, not Cody, but I wish it had been Cody, Ian sticks his freaking face into lawnmower blades. It's off screen, but we do see the after effects. So the Leprechaun
Which,
introduces
by the way, is
himself to
just
Bridget.
not that good.
And he gives her this gold collar, and he basically takes her hostage. And Cody then has to try to get her
By
back
the way, Cody was
with her
killed.
uncle.
By the way, Cody was killed once by pans falling on his head.
Yeah, a gold coin revives him. Now, he might have been knocked out, but I'm going to count him as dead.
He was dead.
And so
The movie clearly states, he even states himself, I was dead, but then the gold coin brought me back to life.
yeah, it's crazy, guys.
Like, how does that make any sense, though?
Then I know. Don't read too much into it, son. Then
Dad, help me.
they trick the Leprechaun, and they think that Cody's responsible for all the mayhem and violence that LAPD do. And so he's on the run, but they dip into this bar, and it's still St. Patrick's Day, mind you, in the year 1994. So if we go by the movie's logic and say that it was set in the year 1994, then that means that this Leprechaun in the year 994, which is where that beginning scene began, so that would make this Leprechaun born in the year 6 BC. So I guess I'm the only one that would really pay attention to that, but I just had to throw that out there.
Remember that the Leprechaun from the first movie was 600 years old.
Yeah, he was. So then they eventually get him to drink with Morty. Now, Morty, being this raging alcoholic, can easily drink the Leprechaun under the table. And the Leprechaun is so drunk he can't even manage his powers. But they then trick him into getting into a wrought iron safe, which is where Morty, being the complete and total tool that he is, makes the mistake of trying to get the Leprechaun's gold because he wants his 3 wishes. So he says his first wish is for the pot of gold.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna stop you right here real quick. I'm gonna stop this review right here real quick because Morty is a complete dum-dum. If they read the book on Leprechaun lore like they said they did, then you would know that a Leprechaun doesn't grant you 3 wishes. Okay? The whole thing that they established from the first movie is if you catch a Leprechaun, it is forced to show you where its gold is, but it has consequences. So, with that being said, it wouldn't grant him 3 wishes because that's what a genie does, you dum-dum.
Well, they completely ignore all the rules of the first Leprechaun anyway, as wrought iron hurts him and it basically kills him at the end. And Bridget and Cody live happily ever after in their complete and total blandness. I really hated just about every single character in this movie.
Except for the Leprechaun.
The Leprechaun
Warwick
was Davis, as usual, puts on a phenomenal performance. But this one is it's definitely a downgrade. We don't have a pogo stick death, but we do have a really cool looking go-kart that the Leprechaun seemed to have fashioned himself.
The Death Machine.
So that's pretty cool.
Leprechaun's Death Machine returns,
And
guys.
Michael McDonald shows up out of nowhere too.
Only just to get killed.
He gets killed by a espresso machine to the face, basically. Well, rather a steamed cappuccino machine to the face. So I'm gonna say that final rating for this one, guys, 3 out of 5. What say you?
Also 3 out of 5. At best, this movie is just mediocre.
Really
it's fun,
is, but
it's mediocre.
It's fun and we laughed a lot, but it's definitely a step down from the first movie.
But we will get to the highly praised Leprechaun 3.
Now, of course,
Tuesday.
As always, if you think that Leprechaun 2 is one of the worst movies ever, well, you're actually kind of right in this regard. But, hey, just remember that it's one of the worst, but also one of the best in terms of comedic value. But if you don't agree with that, hey, we're just two idiots with a cell phone camera. Our opinions do not matter, except they actually do, because we have a YouTube show, except they actually don't. So, Having said that, we'll see you guys next time where we're getting to the one of my favorites, probably my favorite of the entire series, Leprechaun 3. So, where he goes to Vegas. It's kind of tailor-made for the little guy, isn't it? Alright, guys. So, we'll see you guys next time. And hey, one more thing to remember. Peace and love from Denny and Son. Bye.